All right, this is for Public Speaking 111, Mr. Harlow's class. My name is James McDonald. I'm here to give my speech in front of my 6 audience members. So we go. We start off with a particular moment in my life. When I was 22, I found myself standing in front of this Air Force colonel, locked up at attention, trembling in fear, of course. This guy had a notorious reputation of just being a complete hard ass. He hung people out to dry, with the slightest mistakes. So I was nervous to say the least, and I got up there, and when I was forced to give my rebuttal to the accusations at hand, which involved alcohol, of course, I was doing a 14-month tour in Korea at the time, and alcohol over there was very readily available. It was a pastime for all of us in the military at that time, and I definitely had a problem with drinking at that time, so I got in a little trouble. And there I was in front of the commander, having to explain myself for getting into fights and things off base with other military members. And I found myself not knowing exactly what to say, but I paused, I took a deep breath, and everything that came out at that moment was just golden for me, because whatever I said must have chipped away at that brick wall surrounding his heart, so to speak, because he felt some compassion for me, and he gave me a second chance, thankfully. And I was able to finish out my tour there and go on to many more things in the military. So that one little tidbit was just to give you a demonstration of my character and things that I've gone through. That was one little personal triumph in the face of adversity that I was able to overcome at that time. So what I would like to do with you all is talk to you for the next few minutes about myself. Get into a little bit of my past, my background, where I'm presently at today, and give you a brief insight into my future. So let's start in September 4th, 1979. I was born in Salem, Oregon, to James and Teresa McDonald. I grew up in primarily Canby, Oregon, from the time I was 4 until about the age of 12, when my parents unfortunately divorced at that time, and my mom had moved to Salem. So I followed her to Salem, and I started in the Salem school system down there. And I continued on there, met lots of friends, and had about a good 4 years there, and then I started getting in with the wrong crowd toward the end of my high school career. Made a lot of stupid mistakes, got into some legal trouble, had a child at a very young age. I got my high school sweetheart pregnant, and she delivered my first son, Zachary, about 7 days after my 18th birthday. So it was a lot on my plate to handle at that time. And that's when I knew with that and the trouble that I had, that something needed to happen. A change needed to be made. I needed to man up, step up, to be responsible for not only myself, but this child that I brought into this world. So I made the decision that I would join the Air Force. And when I was 19, I left for basic training. It was May 12th, 1999, and that took place in Lackland Air Force Base, Texas. It's in San Antonio, to be exact. I made it through basic training, no problems. I was very nervous going through. I was never very good socially, as far as being in large groups and speaking and things like that, and kind of being on the spotlight. That's always been something I've struggled with, but that gave me a lot of confidence, courage. Just completing that, knowing that I could do that, kind of made me feel like I could probably do anything that I set my mind to. So I successfully completed that and all my technical training that followed, which was in direct respect to what I was going to be doing in the Air Force, and that was a aviation fuel technician, and then later on special ops, which started in 2001 at Travis Air Force Base, California, when I volunteered for Special Ops Unit as part of our refueling team. We go in with Rangers and other Special Ops detachments from all branches of the service, and we refuel on the front lines. We set up portable bladders, and we get these Black Hawks and C-130s off the ground while bullets are flying all around. That was kind of my thing, and it was very exciting. It was very stressful, but I enjoyed it. I really got pleasure out of that, and I did that for the next 2 years. I saw one tour in Iraq in 2004, latter part of 2003 into 2004. Unfortunately, that was my only tour. I had some pretty horrible times over there. I did see death, and I dealt with that a little bit, and I'm has affected me to some degree. But I move on, and I just take it day to day, and I'm getting stronger. So let's recap. Presently, like I said, or previously in my life, I was in the service 6 years. I'm the father of 3 children now, married to a wonderful wife, Lorena, and my future looks pretty bright right now. I'm working at the VA hospital. I plan on continuing with that. It's a federal job. I am attending school full time, or I'm sorry, not full time at the moment, but 3/4 time. And I plan on graduating within 2 years, and having my bachelor's in business. And from there, I look at having a job, probably in the VA system or some form of federal government, using my degree and going on from there. So I thank you all for being here.